Bonsoir à tous. It's so lovely to be with you tonight again for the 19th part of our reading of La Belle au Bois dormant together. And it's still a joy to be with you night after night. It's something we can look forward to every day, being together. And for the people who have the chance to be able to attend live, it's so lovely to see everybody in the chat. It's like you meet friends because we kind of know each other's name and we can catch up every day. So what is going to happen next? We saw yesterday that the prince arrives in the room of the princess. She's absolutely magnificent and he kneels down next to her. What happens next? Let's read together. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Alors, comme la fin de l'enchantement était venue, la princesse s'éveilla et le regardant avec des yeux plus tendres qu'une première vue ne semblait le permettre. « Est-ce vous, mon prince ?» lui dit-elle. « Vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. » Le prince, charmé de ces paroles et plus encore de la manière dont elles étaient dites, ne savait comment lui témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. Il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même. Oh, this is so lovely. So they fell in love right away. Let's look at the first sentence together. Alors, comme la fin de l'enchantement était venue, la princesse s'éveilla et le regardant avec des yeux plus tendres qu'une première vue, ne semblait le permettre. Oh, that is a bit tricky. Alors, it is so or then or immediately right away. Where are my notes for today? They're here. No, it's not the right page. Yes, it's here. Yeah, I'm using a notebook like old school people do because I love notebooks. Alors, it's so. Comme la fin de l'enchantement était venue, as the end of l'enchantement. What is l'enchantement? L'enchantement is the spell or the charm. L'enchantement is the spell. Usually it's a magic spell. The charm. Okay, you see what this means. It is about the fairies. Comme la fin de l'enchantement était venue, had come. And here l'enchantement, it's the magic spell. But you might remember, do you know Merlin with the legend of King Arthur? It is a wizard. How do you say that in English? It's kind of a wizard. And we say Merlin l'enchanteur. Merlin l'enchanteur is the wizard Merlin. And this is his name in French. So if you read books about him, he will be called like that. Merlin l'enchanteur. L'enchantement is the magic spell. Était venu, had come. And here we have venu UE because it is la fin de l'enchantement. Okay? La fin de l'enchantement, so it is feminine singular. So here you have venu UE. La princesse s'éveilla. The princess woke up. S'éveiller, we saw éveiller before. Se réveiller is to wake up. And s'éveiller is to wake up in a formal French, in books, in French books, okay? But we saw before that l'éveil is enlightenment now, okay? L'éveil is enlightenment. Do you say enlightenment like that? Enlightenment, yes. So, enlightenment. No, enlightenment? Okay. So l'éveil is more waking up to something bigger than yourself, a philosophy, realizing something. It's more about spirituality and thinking rather than just waking up. But now, in modern French, to wake up is se réveiller. And s'éveiller is only to wake up in books or in older French. Okay, that's good. I told you everything I wanted to tell you about this one. Et le regardant avec des yeux plus tendres qu'une première vue ne semblait le permettre. So this is tricky. So we have to go through this sentence word by word. And looking at him, okay? Le regardant is looking at him. Regarder is to look, okay? Regarder is to look. By the way, regarder is to look. And voir is to see, okay? And it's not the same. Regarder has an intention, and voir is more of a capacity. Can I see him? Can I not see him? He's a bit too far away from me. Regarder is really to look in one direction. Regarder and voir. So, et le regardant avec des yeux. So, with the eyes, and here you have all that. Plus tendre, so tender, more tender, qu'une première vue ne semblait le permettre. What's that? It means that one sight could even allow. Okay, could not even allow, doesn't seem to allow. That a first sight does not seem to allow. So what does that mean? It means that this is the first time the princess sees the prince. And she is looking at him with eyes so nice and so tender, so gentle and so in love that you can't even believe it is the first time he's seeing him. She's seeing him. Okay? So a first sight should not be so tender because it's a first sight, so she should be just discovering him. But because it is love at first sight and she's supposed to be in love with him madly, this is what happens. So you see, en le regardant, watching him, with eyes even more tender than any first sight could seem to allow. So it's tricky. And I don't think this is going to happen in real life, so don't overwhelm yourself with that. But again, if we relax and we take this step by step and see what all this relates to, we can understand the sentence. La vue is the view, obviously. Well, I say obviously because it sounds obvious to me, but it's not. Une vue is a view, just in case you don't know that. Une vue. So, let's read this sentence again together. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alors, comme la fin de l'enchantement, you can say enchantement, I would say enchantement, but enchantement is fine, était venue, la princesse s'éveilla et le regardant avec, yes, here we can put one, et le regardant avec des yeux plus tendres qu'une première vue ne semblait le permettre. What's going to happen next? She says. No, it doesn't say she says. Okay, so it implies she says. Est-ce vous, mon prince, lui dit-elle, vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. Est-ce vous, mon prince, lui dit-elle, vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. Is it you? Est-ce vous? Is it you? Okay, here we have an inversion. Est-ce vous? And you can understand the sentence if you put it back in an affirmative mode. C'est vous. Okay, is it you? It's you. Est-ce vous, mon prince? Is it you, my prince? Lui dit-elle. He said. To him, obviously. To him. Here you have the lui, that is to him. Lui dit-elle. She said to him. Vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. And this is pretty funny. So, vous vous êtes bien fait attendre means literally you were expected, okay? Or I Attendre is to wait. We waited a long time for you, okay? Attendre is to wait. To wait. For example, j'attends mon train sur le quai de la gare. I'm waiting for my train on the platform of the station. Okay, le quai is the platform. J'attends mon train sur le quai de la gare. Here it is not attendre alone. Vous vous êtes bien fait attendre is not attendre on its own. It is se faire attendre. Okay, vous vous êtes fait attendre. And here we add the bien in order to say I really waited for you. But you could say se faire attendre is a verb. Se faire attendre is être désiré in a way. It means that you are desired. I was expecting you. Être désiré, and this is the right translation, is to keep someone waiting. So here you can see that we don't have a direct translation for that. Okay? Because se faire attendre is translated into keep someone waiting. But we don't have a direct translation. So it's a bit like to miss and manquer. You know how tricky this is? Well, it's a bit the same. You have to trust the translation and just turn your brain off and go for it. So, vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. You kept me waiting. Okay? Because we don't have a direct translation for that. So we just have to think about the meaning and just go for it. Vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. You kept me waiting. And here we have a double vous because it is se faire attendre. Okay? So the first one is you, and this one is the se. Okay? So think about it if you want. It will help. Let's read that again. It's a short one. Est-ce vous, mon prince? Lui dit-elle. Vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. Here, I'm not sure if we should put a liaison between fait and attendre. Here we have one for sure. Vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. Vous êtes bien fait attendre. Bien fait attendre. Yeah, okay, let's put one here. Bien fait attendre. And here, let's read this one together, but first let's breathe in and out. 1, 2, 3, and let's read. Le prince, charmé de ces paroles, et plus encore de la manière dont elles étaient dites, ne savait comment lui témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. Il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même. Here we could say plus que lui-même. Le prince, the prince, charmé par ses paroles. Charmé is charmed by this words. How would you say that? Parole. It's in French. Words, yeah, that's what I would say. These words. Okay, so les paroles is words, and not as in like that's a word, but like the word that you say in a speech, okay, by these words. But it's also lyrics. For example, j'aime beaucoup. Oh là là, sorry. Les paroles des chansons de Juliette. Check her out, she's awesome. Juliette, I'm going to put her name. Noureddine, she's really awesome. She's one of my favorite. Or maybe that's because she never uses her last name, so I'm not really sure how you write it. But Juliette is an awesome singer. I love what she does. She's a fantastic singer and musician, and her lyrics of her songs, which are not written by her she's more into music, are absolutely fantastic. You could just study them. They're so good. Charmé de ses paroles. So charmed by these words. Et plus encore. And even more. You could write plus encore. You can remember this one. Even more. For example, you can say encore plus as well. J'aime. Okay, how can I say that? J'aime. I want to give you an example that is not what we just saw. I can find something that's good because it's really old-fashioned. So what I'm going to show you is that you can use encore plus. That is much more fluent, much more modern. Encore plus, plus encore, encore plus. J'aime les bulots, mais j'aime encore plus les huîtres. I'm just putting this example because my brother lives in Normandy and today he's going to have bulot. Don't you know what a bulot is, maybe? Bulot is a whelk. And because he lives next to the sea, he can have them. It is a whelk. So maybe for those of you who live next to the sea, maybe you can have some, but for all of us who don't, it is a bit more difficult to have them at the moment because lots of things stopped. So he was just telling me this morning I'm going to have bulot for lunch. So I love whelk, but I like oysters even more. So you could write here, j'aime les huîtres plus encore, but it sounds really awkward because it is really old-fashioned French. So encore plus is much more modern and you can use that everywhere the way you use even more. Et plus encore de la manière dont elles étaient dites. So he was charmed by what she was saying, but even more by the way they were said. So he's charmed by these words and even more by the way they were said. La manière is the way. The way. J'aime la manière dont tu fais la tarte aux pommes. I love the way you bake apple pie. J'aime la manière dont tu fais la tarte aux pommes. So it is a way, it is a habit, a custom. Ne savait comment lui témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. So he didn't know how to témoigner his joy et sa reconnaissance. So témoigner in everyday French is to testify. Okay, this is what we know. For example, Julien a témoigné au procès de Monsieur Dupont. Okay, so Julien testified at the procès. Sounds obvious because we hear about that all the time in the news. A lawsuit or trial, at the trial of Mr. Dupont. Okay, témoigner is to testify. It is extremely straightforward. But here it is not testify of his joy itself. It is something that we use in French where we do témoigner something. Because here it is témoigner au procès de Monsieur Dupont. He testified at the trial of Monsieur Dupont. But in French we use témoigner in another way. For example, témoigner sa joie. Témoigner sa reconnaissance. Témoigner de l'intérêt pour quelque chose. Okay, here témoigner sa joie is to express your joy. And usually you do it to someone. Témoigner sa joie, for example, d'être guéri. Express your joy to be cured. Okay? So, témoigner sa joie, témoigner sa reconnaissance. It is to express thankfulness. Your thankfulness. But you can also do that with anger. You can say témoigner sa colère. Express interest for something. So it is a little bit more elegant French, but it can absolutely be used in everyday French. And because here we are talking about emotions or interest or thankfulness, we are really talking about something that matters to the person. So sometimes, because we want to talk about something that matters, we are going to use a little bit more elegant French. So témoigner sa joie, témoigner sa reconnaissance, témoigner de l'intérêt pour quelque chose, témoigner sa colère. It seems that you can absolutely use with témoigner without sounding pompous, or just arrogant or something. Because very often when we use the wrong level of the language, we sound awkward, and it's okay. I mean, you're a foreigner, you're learning, so that's fine. No one is going to throw any stones at you. But I know that lots of students listening to Comme in Français want to be right when they're speaking, especially when it's something that matters. So here you can use absolutely témoigner something, because it sounds elegant, and in this situation you want to have the right level of language. And this is extremely nice. If you start using that, wow, your French will be wonderful. So témoigner is 99% of the time to testify, because we can understand from the context that it's someone in a trial, but we can use this differently to sound more elegant. So here, he's not testifying in a trial. He is témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. You see exactly what I was talking about. So he is expressing his joy and his thankfulness. And here, when you have this express, you really have words, you have feelings, you have someone wanting to show proof of it. And this is what he's doing. He doesn't know actually how to do it. Ne savait pas comment lui témoigner sa joie. He didn't know how to express his joy and his thankfulness. Il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même. He assured her that he loved her more than himself. Assurer is assurer in everyday life. It is to assure or to insure. Just depends on the context. Okay? So it is the word for insurance, but it is the word for doing it as well. For ensuring that someone knows something, sorry. So that was a lot, but they're really in love, and the prince is in love as well, so that's cute. I wanted to remove this. Okay, line. Let's read that sentence together, okay? And before you ask, le prince charmé par ses paroles et plus encore. Here we need to say the S. And there is une liaison because it is more. Plus with the S is more, and plus without the S is not anymore. Unless it's tricky and it's implied. Le prince charmé par ses paroles, de ses paroles, et plus encore de la manière dont elles étaient dites. Here we have une liaison to, dont elles, wow, lots of liaisons here. Elles étaient dites, ne savaient. Here we could have a pas, okay? But it is implied because it is formal French. Ne savait comment. So you could have ne savait pas comment lui témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. Il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même. Il l'aimait plus que lui-même. Il aimait plus que lui-même. Here I'm going to say the S because we are in a learning context, and I want to make sure that you really understand the rule and we stick to it. But you could say here in this context of spoken French, of of spoken French from the 17th century that il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même, because we are trying to be more elegant and sometimes we're going to remove the S in this kind of French. So let's breathe in, breathe out, and let's read 1, 2, and 3. Le prince, charmé de ses paroles et plus encore de la manière dont elles étaient dites, ne savait comment lui témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. Il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même. Here, I want to just insist on something. Okay, no, that's good. No, I don't want to just... no, I don't want to mislead you by explaining something that would be too difficult. So, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. How long is the next one? Okay, so let's finish with this one because it's a short one. And there is no cliffhanger there. Ces discours furent mal rangés. Ils emplourent davantage. Peu d'éloquence, beaucoup d'amour. Short sentence, difficult words. Ces discours, it's his speeches. Un discours is a speech, usually. For example, a political speech. Okay? A speech or a speech at the Oscars, all that. It is un discours. Here, he doesn't give speeches like someone would give at the Oscars, but you can understand it is his intentions of his all his words of love and his sentences, all that together, we call this des discours, but this is old-fashioned French again. Furent mal rangés. We saw before that ranger is to tidy up. So here, what this means is that his sentences, his words were not tidy. They were all messed up. Okay, so it is completely old-fashioned French because we would not use ces discours anymore to mean that, and we would not use mal rangé. Okay, we could say ces paroles étaient en désordre. I would say le désordre is the mess, but it is elegant French. Okay, it's not le bordel, which I'm not going to write today. Mess. I want to check. Have another one. Bazar, désordre. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's the mess. It is actually that. So le désordre is the mess. So you can say ces paroles étaient en désordre. They were not tidy because they were all over the place. Ils en plurent davantage. Plaire is to... Se plaire is to like each other. Okay, and plaire is what's plaire actually? That's a tricky question because I know se plaire, to please, to delight. To please, to delight. So here, ils en plurent davantage. It is the verb plaire en passé simple. So they delighted even more. And obviously, who did they delight? They delighted the princess. Ils en plurent davantage, and davantage is even more. Ces discours furent mal rangés, ils en plurent davantage. Peu d'éloquence, beaucoup d'amour, so little eloquence, lots of love. So here, the princess is charmed because the prince loves her so much that he just can't talk properly anymore, but she's charmed because of it. So let's read that sentence one last time. Ces discours furent mal rangés. Ils ont, here we have une liaison. Ils en plurent davantage. Peu d'éloquence, beaucoup d'amour. Oh, that's so cute. So let's read the whole paragraph that we studied today together. We saw that before. Breathe in, breathe out, and let's read together. Alors, comme la fin de l'enchantement était venue, La princesse s'éveilla et le regardant avec des yeux plus tendres. Here we have une liaison. Des yeux plus tendres qu'une première vue ne semblait le permettre. Est-ce vous, mon prince, lui dit-elle, vous vous êtes bien fait attendre. Le prince, charmé de ces paroles et plus encore de la manière dont elles étaient dites, ne savait comment lui témoigner sa joie et sa reconnaissance. Il l'assura qu'il l'aimait plus que lui-même. Ses discours furent mal rangés, ils en plurent davantage. Peu d'éloquence, beaucoup d'amour. Oh, that's so cute. I'm very happy for them. So that's it for today. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you, today is Commune Française's 8th birthday. Yeah, I started Commune Française in April 6th, 2012. So that's 8 years. That's crazy. So I wanted to thank all the students who've been following me for years and for months and for weeks. And if you're new, you are welcome to our community. I'm very, very glad that you joined us. I wish you une bonne soirée, une bonne nuit, une bonne journée peut-être. And à demain à 7h15. Don't forget to put a thumb up. That would be very, very nice. And à demain. Allez, salut!